everybody. Welcome back to Accepting Reality. Sorry for the length in between episodes. Time just got away from us.
We're
Jake, how you
back.
doing tonight? We're back.
we are back. I'm good.
Yeah.
Easter. How was your Easter?
Easter was really nice. It was this year. The fast was brutal, like the Lenten fast. It was very nice to eat a nice meal on, and not worry about anything. But it was a good time.
What's the first meal you had? Like when you could eat? Did you go all out, or were you like the normal people and you weren't that hungry when you could eat?
Well, I had a big meal. Let's see. So Holy Saturday, it ended at noon, obviously.
Yeah.
I kind of just had a snack then, but then I had a really big dinner. We went over to my wife's family. We celebrated like an Easter with them since we weren't going to see them actually on Easter Sunday. And my sister-in-law made ham and potatoes and carrots and all the full, all of it. And I ate a lot. So, and then we had chocolate cake.
Are you a ham guy?
Oh yeah,
like
I
Easter?
Yeah.
I never got into ham. I'm not a like. See, my family's weird. My family will make things, and I said this to we went over to my grandma's, like the small group of us, because she always has us over. And so I go over there, and I'm like, you always make weird stuff. I'm like, what are we having to eat? And she's like, what are you talking about? And I said, you always make okay, she has ham. Now, this is not for just Easter, but like the ham is for Easter, but like other dinners, like cookouts and stuff. I'm like, you always have we have with the ham, we have Western German potato salad with almonds and strawberries. And they're like, what is that? And then she's like, and then I was flipping through the channels at 4 a.m. and came across the cooking show, and they now make a pumpkin spice dinner roll with apricots and maple syrup or something weird. I'm like, can we just have just potatoes and a salad and that's it? So they went. We did chicken though. We didn't do ham. We did chicken this year. But I'm not a big ham guy. But you like ham, huh?
Ham's really good. Yeah, I like the spiral ham it's already cooked, but then you just put it in a crock pot and you let it like warm up and get soft and tender.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really good. It's got like the brown sugar glaze on it.
They do the honey glaze or no?
I think we had one with brown sugar. I think that was the one we had, but I could be wrong. Maybe it was honey. I don't know. Maybe it was both, but it's really good. Or to it on Easter. Actually, I have some on Christmas too. We usually make a little ham on Christmas too.
Yeah, that's the thing at Christmas. I know that ham. Anyway, nobody wants to listen to us talk about ham.
We're getting a lot of pigs. No. Swine flu. No. Swine flu is kind of on target. We want to talk about healthcare. And
swine flu.
Just like everything else, healthcare prices are going through the roof. You would know better than me because you work in healthcare, but I can't imagine it's any different than gas being over $4 a gallon, grocery bills going up on average. They said like the family of four will spend $5,000 more a year right now.
That's crazy.
What's going on with healthcare price-wise, if you have any more details?
Well, so the two biggest things that I've always seen, or at least heard of, I know that everyone talks about insulin. That's like a big cog in the healthcare, and because you need it, like you can't go without it. So it's a necessary buy, and that's something you hear all the time. But then I also hear all the time about blood thinner medication. And so I'm like, how much does blood thinner medication cost? You have like your two main ones, I think Xarelto and whatever the other one is. But per month, how much do you think it costs? Now, this is most insurances like basically won't cover it. So this is just kind of like out of pocket. Okay. How much would you say it costs?
I'm gonna shoot really high and say like $400 a month.
$550 a month.
Oh wow, I was under.
For your monthly supply. Eliquis is the other one. So you're talking about people that cannot go without it.
And that's about $6,000 a year.
If you go without it, you could clot up like that. And on the flip side, you hear that, oh, hey, the government sells you, and I don't know what it was like in your neck of the woods, but in Ohio, They were, hey, if you've gotten your COVID shot, you're in the drawing for $1 million. Your name's in the drawing because we're gonna incentivize getting the COVID vaccine. The COVID vaccine's free. We'll partner with Lyft. We'll partner with Uber. We'll get you free rides to get your vaccine. And it's imperative that you get this vaccine because it's for your safety and it's for everyone else's health. And so we're going to make it free because why should we charge you for something that's good for the whole population? But you're going to charge us $550 a month for blood thinning medication. You're going to charge us from $50 to $1,000 of insulin per month.
Yep.
When that stuff is, I don't know what the costs of making a bottle of Eliquis is, but I imagine it's a lot less than $550 a month. I'm sure they make a bottle of Eliquis for, I don't know, 20, $30. So, I mean, these pharmaceutical companies and the government using that as a baseline for saying we need people to be healthy. We need everyone to get this COVID vaccine. It's important. If it was really about keeping people healthy, lower your prices for everything else. So it gives you another reason to the laundry list of reasons why you should think about not getting the vaccine.
Yeah, I always thought it was funny. The media, which is the main media outlets, are objectively to the left, and if you're denying that, then you just do not want to accept reality. Trademark pending. When one of the last things Trump did, what I believe was an executive order to force the price of insulin down.
Yeah.
Now, look,
Yep.
I'm not for the government taking control of the economy in any way. Like, I would rather have the government get completely out of medical, like Medicare and stuff like that, so then the free market could actually do its job. Because right now it can't because the government's got their hands in it. But for Trump to lower insulin and the media to still be outraged, and actually President Biden revoked that executive order. So and then it's ironic they say that was Biden doing the free market. No, because now the insulin companies have monopoly. Now, you would know this question. You would probably have a better idea of this question. Does insulin get covered by insurance pretty regularly?
I think so, yeah. I mean, it would depend. Like, I would imagine. Now I have no idea, but I would guess that it's based on, like, it would be worth more if your glucose readings are at out of range. So I mean, it gives you a reason to not be out of range, so that because the higher dosage you'll need for depending on how out of whack your blood work is.
Yeah. And would you say, now I can confirm this, would you say that the federal government, if you're on their healthcare, it covers insulin, like Medicare, Medicaid, stuff like that? Like, I would imagine they would.
The only reason I'm gonna say I don't know is because you'd be surprised at what Medicare doesn't pay for, and so in terms of it, well, it depends where you get it. Like, I'll give you an example. So a lot of vaccines, like, we'll just use the shingles vaccine, the Shingrix. Okay, that if you have Medicare and you go to a doctor's office, that's part of a large healthcare organization. This is in Ohio. I don't know about anywhere else. It's not covered, but you have to go to the pharmacy. So the pharmacy has to order the vaccine, and you get it at the pharmacy. But if you go to your doctor's office where they do these all the time, you're going to have to pay out of pocket for it. So, just because it's Medicare doesn't mean it's going to be paid for. But I mean, I would, with insulin, it probably does. I mean, I would be surprised if it wasn't.
That's just messed up. Like, sorry, it really bugs me because the free market has proven to be successful, but we're not giving it the chance in healthcare. We're not, like, certain companies have a monopoly. And like you said, insulin is a necessity. It is not as easy as like Advil or Tylenol. Like, some people, if they're diabetic, will die without it. Like, it's confirmed. Their blood sugar cannot be regulated. They will die. And I think these people are taking advantage of it. Now, I get it, supply and demand, but I highly doubt the supply is that little. You know what I mean? Like, I highly doubt that they can't produce enough. but
No, I
that's
mean
I could be
it's
wrong. I don't have their numbers, but
yeah, I doubt it, especially when diabetes is such a huge business. I mean, just it's so common.
especially in
I mean,
America.
I'm just gonna look to see how many cases of diabetes per year, but I'm gonna guess. Well, it'd have to be a type two. Um,
Yeah, because type 1, you pretty much find out.
I'm gonna guess it's like it's got to be a couple 100,000. Hold on, let's see. 1.4 million every year. So
Oh,
in total, they estimate it's like about 40 to 50 million.
that's
Um,
insane.
so about 10%. Yeah, they're saying about 10% in 2020 of the population had diabetes. So there can't be a situation where the supply is low because you have this huge group of people that need it. So, and based on however many past years, that there's going to be 1% of those 10% is going to be added every single year. It's going to just keep getting increased. So you're always going to have reason to keep the supply up. So it's not like they have to keep, they don't want to buy more product because they're afraid that they're going to have this inventory they're not going to be able to sell. They just are raising the prices because there's, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 pharmaceutical companies that control 99% of the market. So
I mean,
why
that's
shouldn't they raise their prices?
yeah,
It's like, you're taking a situation where somebody needs something, but if you have outside of healthcare, let's just say you're selling a product, whatever it is, that product, if you sell it for $150, it's kind of like if I sell you something for 150, if you're willing to buy something at $150, you're probably likely to buy it at 180.
yep,
And if you're willing to buy it at 180, you're probably willing to buy it at 200. So I mean,
yep.
just put it up to $550. Who cares?
Mm-hmm. And that's because it's not a free market. And actually, I had this thought while we were just talking about this. We all need water, right?
Yep.
Water is a commodity that's necessity, but you
Mhm.
don't see it at $550 for a 12-ounce water bottle sitting on my desk right now while we record. Like
Right.
it's
Right.
what, like
And
50 cents? Buy them in a 24 pack. You know what I mean?
yeah, you get 24 for $3.99,
Yeah,
something like
like
that. So yeah, but then it's like, okay, well then if I was to say, well, why is that? And you were to keep breaking it down, it would just come down to it's not part of healthcare. You're not, like you can't get diabetes from anywhere else but a pharmaceutical company.
yep.
I mean, you could probably get it from some guy on the street that's going to give it to you for 25 cents a milliliter, whatever it is. But that's probably got like the maple syrup cinnamon type rolls that I was talking about with German pecan strawberry salad stuff mixed into it. But the water thing, it's not controlled by healthcare companies. So
It's
and
it's a free market.
and the insurance has something to do with it. The doctor's offices have something to do with it. It's just it's all connected. I mean, it's like somebody asked me one time. They said, what would the world be like if we found a cure for cancer and all kinds of cancer? And I was like, well, it'd be great, but we're never going to get there.
Mm-hmm.
They said, what do you mean? I said, well, you're telling me that we've how many upteen amounts of trillions of dollars have been put into cancer research just in the last 20 years, since the year 2000, last 22 years, trillions of dollars, and we've made such small steps relative to that amount of time and money. You're never going to find that's such a big business and such huge amounts of money that get paid to those healthcare organizations. There's no way that they're ever going to find a cure, because why would you find a problem or find a solution to a problem that pays you money? You
Yeah.
don't want to
No,
do that. That's not
I
what
agree.
they want.
I don't think we'll ever find it, and that's horrifically sad, And
Yeah.
it seems like cancer is getting more prevalent. I don't have the numbers to back it up, but you read story. Maybe it's because the news covers it all the time. That's why I think there's
Yeah.
more. But
Yeah. Could be. I mean, it's just excuse me. It's just I I just think we would have found something by now, but also it's also with anything. I mean, just cancer in general is
Yeah.
so big. There's so many cases. There's so many different kinds that
Uh-huh.
it's never going to get fixed. And that just goes down to, well, why is that? It's because these healthcare companies, are they really 100% for the patients, or it's a business now? So you have to remember that. So who are they really for? You know, it's dangerous to go to
Pocketbooks.
it's dangerous to go to the doctor. Yeah, you got shareholders, you got to pay, and you can't say to them, "Hey, listen, we can't fulfill, you know, your monthly payout." And they say, "Why?" It's because somebody found a cure for cancer. That's taken away
Yeah,
$4 billion
30% of
a
our
year or whatever. Yeah, it's just they can't do that. They're going to say, "Well, go find that guy who created that cure, and put him in the river and never find him again, and let's get this money back up." It's just how it is.
Yeah, and it's really sad, and that leads to a good philosophical. Do you
Oh, boy.
think companies who are in businesses are in like the humanitarians? Do you think they should be? Because I actually heard someone when I was in college say this, that we should be forcing them to be non-for-profit because of the business they're in, like healthcare or something like that. Like,
Oh,
should we force them to be non-for-profit because a truly like good healthcare system cannot be focused on making money? And I laughed at him because I said that's impossible because you're taking away the only incentive that works for humanity.
right. No, I don't think you can do that. I don't. No, but I think that there are big healthcare companies that are nonprofit that
Yes.
hold a big part of their region and how many patients they see and how many patients they take care of. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's like, maybe that would be a conversation if you were to say, okay, 95% of the companies, healthcare companies are not nonprofit.
Yeah, like their for-profit
And
business.
right. So therefore we need to take a look at how many of these need to flip. But no, I don't think you can do that. I don't think
No,
you should do that anyway.
I don't think it should be done either. And then here's a good one for you. Back to you made a really good point about the vaccines. Did you know that
Oh, the
under
vaccine.
Ronald Reagan, the United States passed a law that granted full immunity to vaccine companies?
Full immunity. Oh, okay.
Legal liability, so to speak. Like you can't publicly sue them. There's a vaccine settlement court, but that's sealed. You get money and you
Hmm.
have to shut up.
Well, I mean, okay. Wasn't one of the side effects for the COVID vaccine like death or something? Wasn't it at some point?
Well, in
I,
the
I
30
swear.
in the
I
30
swear.
pages that a judge in Ohio represent uh ordered Pfizer to start releasing its data, like its
Yeah.
research and studies and clinical trial results. There was a longer list of side effects than like amount of players that have played in Major League Baseball in the last 200 years. So do the math.
Well, I mean, they're just coming out with a fourth booster now, 50 and older. You got
Hmm.
to get your second booster. It's your fourth shot overall.
Yeah, and it
So
doesn't matter what
go for it.
company it is. So it doesn't. They said you can mix and match them now. Before, they were like, okay, if you had Pfizer, you need to get Pfizer. If you had Moderna, you
Right.
need to get Moderna.
Right.
Now it says it
Right.
doesn't matter.
Right. The first booster was really like it had to be a certain amount of time after you got your second
Yep.
COVID shot, and that had to be the same one. If you got Johnson, you couldn't get it with Moderna or Pfizer, but if you got Pfizer, you could get Moderna and like. But now, yeah, this fourth one, it just doesn't care. Who cares? It's
Science
going to
is
protect you.
ever evolving until the polls close.
Boy, I tell you, I just they lifted the mask mandate for flights and stuff now, and I just think we're getting toward the end of the vaccine thing and the mask junk, but I don't know. It just seems like forever ago. I remember when COVID started, and I remember talking to somebody, and I said, "Oh, this will be done by the summer." And
Yeah,
they said, "No, this is going to be the new one. This is just going to be how it is." And I'm like, "Nah, you're crazy." And here we are, 2 years later, and yes, things are open because you have to open them, which is for the economy's sake. But we're still kind of, at least in my world, working in healthcare, we're still wearing masks. I will lead the charge. I will buy a pitchfork and I will lead the line of people to throw away masks and burn them at the stake. Like I can't wait till that day comes, but I don't know when it's going to come because the CDC still says wearing a mask is fruitful. So
Yeah.
who knows?
And apparently the federal government's going to appeal that
Oh yeah,
judge who, of course, of course they are, because they said the CDC still recommends it. Well, the CDC didn't recommend masks when the COVID was at its worst. So can I
right.
get some explanations on that one, please? The
We
Surgeon General made a video that was put on Facebook, shared by, at the time, the president, but his social media is gone now. You can't find it.
Mhm.
Of saying you do not need to go out and buy masks and wear them. It's proven they're not effective. And now all of a sudden, if you didn't wear a mask, you were killing your grandmother. It's ridiculous.
Well, then it came down to you can wear a mask. So a lot of people just wear cloth masks and inside out shirts or scarves or whatever. And then it
Bandanas.
changed to now you got to wear the surgical masks.
Yep.
And then now I believe a lot of places have said, even like big institutions have said, well, the cloth masks really don't work. The surgical masks are a little better, but they still don't work. The only ones that really work are the N95. But
Yep.
it's like, okay, well then now you're telling me, and this was the problem I had with the COVID vaccine over the winter time, more specifically a little bit before Christmas. I said, you've had supposedly
Allegedly.
researchers, scientists, allegedly. I like that word, allegedly. You've got all these scientists, you've got researchers, you've got phlebotomists, experts, you've got health population experts. They've been looking at this virus so closely for all this time, and now you're saying, oh, you only have to be out of work for 5 days, not 10. We just figured this out. Okay, now you're saying that after all this time, after a year and a half, we've been looking at this thing for a year and a half, but we've now decided that N95s are really the only ones that give you the best chance to fight it off. Well, then what in the world? Then what were we doing this whole time? We were wearing cloth masks and bandanas that would go over your neck, and you just pull it up. And I mean, it's like, so what are they going to say in a month? When does it get to the point where N95s don't count too? It's just ridiculous.
I wore a neck gaiter whenever I had to wear a mask, and no one ever said anything to me. My health has not gotten any worse since COVID came around. It really hasn't.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm Superman. I know I had it, but I had a fever for a day. Oh, like I would have had if COVID never existed either. I would have had a fever from something else.
Right.
Oh man.
It's just like you can't just have a cough anymore.
Nope.
You can't have allergies. There's nothing like that. I mean, I think though recently, at least where I'm from, I haven't really seen a whole lot of like people being tested for symptoms. If I hear about somebody being tested, it's more because they have to go someplace that requires a negative test.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But it's not really going on around as much as it did, say, in September, October. That's when it was really rough in Ohio. But again, COVID cases go up when the vaccine is the more and more the vaccine got distributed and people got the vaccine, the more COVID cases went up. So you tell me how that makes sense.
Yeah. And I love it. So Illinois finally dropped their mask mandate. I think we were like the 50th state. People are now starting to wear them again just on their own power because our governor said that seeing an uptick in COVID cases. That at the same time, the Illinois Health Department stopped tracking daily cases. So how do we know there's an uptick in cases if the Illinois Health Department has stopped tracking daily cases? They're doing it on a 2-week basis based on cases per 100,000 adults. So by that metric, you need to wait 2 weeks to see if there's an uptick, right? Am I missing something?
Is this big boy?
This is JB. This is him trying to save his rear end before November, which I really don't think he's surviving this one. I really think we're going to see a Republican governor in Illinois. Hasn't been one there was one in 2014.
I was going to ask, when's the last time? Yeah.
Yeah, we had Bruce Rauner, who was quite. You know how Mitt Romney is just basically a fraud of a
Yeah,
Republican.
he's
That was
Democrat.
Rauner.
Yeah.
That was
Oh,
Rauner.
okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
he put in bills that allowed more abortion. He was terrible, terrible.
Gotcha.
So the guy
Are
that
you
I
running?
want, yes, I'm right now. No, you got to be 28, I think, to be governor in Illinois.
Oh,
But
okay.
the guy that I want to win, his name is Darren Bailey. He's an Illinois senator. So he's been around Illinois. He's actually from like the middle of nowhere in like some farm town in Illinois.
Okay. Hey, that's fine.
Um,
That's
and
fine.
Trump actually endorsed him for governor. That was I
Okay.
usually, well, if you read what Trump posts, but that's a little biased, obviously. He says if I endorse someone, they're going to win. So I hope he's right.
We'll see. What
Yeah,
was the even though the election was stolen, allegedly, what was the Illinois results for the election with Trump and Biden? Do you know
Biden
the percentages?
Biden won by I think like 5 or 6%.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty
Okay.
normal.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
the sad thing is, I think there's only like 8 counties that vote for Biden. I think it's
Yeah.
Cook
Oh,
County,
yeah.
which is Chicago. Will
Yeah.
County is where I live, a lot of the suburbs that are near Chicago. DuPage and Lake County, which are like the northwest, like I'm the southwest of the city, if you look at it on a map. And
Mhm.
DuPage and Lake are west and northwest. I think those were. And then like a few of them in like central Illinois, and then a few of them in southern Illinois, all in Democrat run cities, all, and that was it. Everywhere else in the country, the state, bright red,
Well,
bright red.
that's what happened in Nevada.
Yeah,
What
everyone
was
lives
it?
in Vegas. The entire state, everyone lives in Henderson County.
It was Vegas and was it Reno?
Yes, Reno. That's the other big city in
Those
Nevada.
two places were the only ones blue. And this is also when we waited like 45 days for Nevada to get their stuff together so that we knew. Like it was like, I don't know, 1 o'clock Ohio time, which is they're
1 p.m.
3 hours behind.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So we're
It's 10 o'clock
talking
there.
10 o'clock. And they were like, we've closed down counting for the day. We'll resume tomorrow. What? I would love that job, to go for an hour and a half and just count when the country's kind of like, hey, can you, kind of like figure it out because we're kind of waiting.
Yeah.
They're like, we're coming back tomorrow. How about you come back for the 10 hours that's left of this day?
Yeah.
How about that? Jeez.
That I gotta tell you, we should just do a whole episode about what you and I did on the 2020 election and stuff, all the things going back
Oh
and
my
forth.
gosh.
And I was up till 4 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning. I watched Trump speak live and then went to bed.
I wasn't too far behind. I went to bed at I think 3:30 my time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was then I woke up at 6 and all of a sudden 5 states had just magically flipped.
And then the rest of them took like a whole month and a half to count.
Yeah. Florida, there was 3% of the votes. There was 3% of the votes, or 2% of the votes left to read, and Trump was up 3%, but they didn't call it. As soon as the polls closed in Washington, Oregon, and California, they're declared winners for Biden. But they couldn't call Florida, even though the percentages made no sense as to Biden having a chance.
How about the Arizona fiasco with Fox News? They said, "Oh, Biden's got to win. Biden wins Arizona, and the polls close." And then it's like, "Nope, Biden doesn't win."
Oh my gosh!
Like, "Oh, Biden wins Arizona," and then
that was so messed up. And no, there was no news network that was on at that time. Well, because they cheated, so no one knew what was going on.
Allegedly.
Allegedly
YouTube.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
This goes on YouTube, right?
Yes.
I should know that.
Yeah.
It's been a long day. Yeah, allegedly. But yeah, I mean, we didn't. That was crazy. That was fun. I remember I was at work and I looked because I didn't care, and I was like, "Oh, Trump went up 0.2%." I'm like, if he goes more in Michigan, he's gonna win Michigan, and then of course something happened. But it was like the thought. I was like, "There's no way that Biden's gonna win all these states. He just was down by 10% 4 hours ago. How is this even mathematically possible?"
I think what we got to do, and everyone who's listening, hold us to it. Midterms, we're going to live stream it.
Oh my
I'm gonna
gosh.
set up a little command center,
Oh my
have all the
god.
live tweeting, and we are going to live. We're gonna live stream. We're gonna be here for all the questions and all the breaking news. I'm sure it's gonna be interesting. YouTube will probably kick us off. So
Hey, we love YouTube. YouTube's great,
do we do YouTube is
allegedly.
great. Yeah.
What about the people? What about the people in Japan that are listening?
Oh, they well, I
They
mean,
don't know about. They
wouldn't
don't
it
know
be a
what.
day ahead?
Well, I mean, but either way, they
Yeah.
don't know about what are. I mean, maybe they do. I don't know, but do
No,
they
they
know
do.
about like the midterms and the
I
way
think
our
they know.
economy works and
I think
government?
they know. Well, I mean, they're pretty similar to us now. They're a little more government controlled, but overall,
Okay,
yeah,
all right. I just
not the
don't, you know.
not the people in Shanghai who are committing suicide because they can't leave their house. Did you hear about that?
Way to, yeah, way to bring on a happy note.
Well,
No, but but that was during the Olympics. I heard all that kind of stuff,
it's happening again now because they have a zero COVID. So some random idiot tested positive. So all hell is broken loose.
okay,
And yeah,
yeah,
like they're shutting people down from food and they lied about when it was going to end and they're taking kids away from their parents and not telling them where they're going and
yeah. Well, that's what happened. I mean,
communism.
China's not like North Korea. You can leave China, right? It's not as hard.
Yeah, I
Like
think
North Korea is like you can't leave. There's no leaving.
yeah, no, you're stuck.
But China, you can go in and out. So
Sure, Dennis Rodman. You can go to North Korea and leave.
yeah, what was that? How did that happen?
I have no
He
idea.
just came like he was like to the Bahamas. Like he just walked in and walked out.
And they
How is that
loved him.
possible?
They thought he was a god.
And what? Okay, everybody. Okay, this I'm not being racist.
Oh boy.
You have a country, okay, that has people that look the same because of the dictator there. Okay, it's not. I'm not saying that because I'm racist.
Yeah,
because
no, they make
he
them
wants to
they
look
only
like him.
have like 3 haircuts. Yeah.
Right. They
Yeah.
all are around the same height. Then all of a sudden, some guy comes with piercings, tattoos, and he's 6'7".
Yeah.
Okay, they probably thought he was some alien. Like
Yeah.
he was from a different world, and like they could have told him he was from Mars, and they would have been like, "Sure, why not?" And so. But how did he leave? How did he?
I don't know.
I don't know.
They let him in and out. Like I don't know how. Like, did our government have to make they didn't hold Dennis Rodman hostage? Like what? That would have been a
Dennis Rodman.
story.
What a
Dennis
crazy
Rodman,
person.
prisoner of war. Trump has to negotiate to get Dennis Rodman back.
What's going on with the Brittany Grimes? Is that her name in Russia?
Hey, Griner, she's in jail
Griner?
for 5 to 7 years.
Have they given up trying to get her out?
No,
The
because
United States?
because U.S. kind of just tried to sabotage Russia's economy. They're not even taking the phone calls.
Oh,
She's done. She get ready to go to a labor camp for 5 to 7 years.
oh well, all right.
Don't for all those
Don't-
listening, words of advice. If you're not in America, don't act like you can do whatever you want.
But what do you mean, David? Today is April 20th.
Yeah. Oh no.
It's 420. You know, speaking of that,
It's big Illinois.
I just found out that is because of 5 high school kids
Really?
that apparently, now, I don't know if this, I just heard this today. Now, I've never allegedly, no, I've never smoked marijuana. The Mary Jane, the reefer, the grass.
The devil's lettuce. Yes, we get it. Carry on.
Lettuce. Yes, pot.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it smells like. Okay, I don't. But people told me today that so these, I don't know where, but these 5 high school kids in like the 70s or something planned a treasure hunt to find weed, and they were going to meet at the statue of their high school, like outside the front door, whatever, at 4:20 p.m.
Of course.
And that's where, I don't know if this was on 420, but this is where they came from. So now this is like a national monument. So I don't know if the school's still open, but people go to the statue to just
This is
light it up.
ridiculous. We are fallen.
I mean, that's how this all started. So
we are falling.
that's where we're at right now. So,
So
David, have you
nope,
allegedly? Okay,
nope,
all right.
no allegedness about it. Nope. Well, on that note, I'm sure everybody has been thoroughly enjoying the roller coaster that this last 35 minutes was. Jake, any
This is
more
35
final
minutes?
thoughts? It's been 35 minutes. Yeah.
Final
Any more
thoughts.
final thoughts? 420, COVID, vaccine, healthcare, China, and we covered it all. 2020 election, allegedly the most freest and fairest election ever, per the Washington Post.
Allegedly. Let's see if I can get this right. I want to say that I'm going to mess this up. That this recording cannot be disseminated and/or reproduced without the express written consent of
DJ Media.
Right. Oh, there you go. Yeah, we should. Okay, here's what we do. We go online and we go to the Fiverr or whatever. One of those places where we pay some like 17-year-old in Oklahoma $5 to like record that for us, and then we just add that in.
There we go.
Even though we're not copyrighted, who cares? There's like 15 people listening to us. It doesn't matter. But those 15 people can't do this. They can't take the recording.
They can't be messing with our. Yeah, can't be taken. If I see any of our things on YouTube not uploaded from us, I file a complaint. DMCA, you're done.
Do we sue? Do we have a lawyer? Do we know a lawyer?
We do not have a lawyer on retainer yet. It's not exactly in the budget.
Do we know one?
I don't know any. I knew people studying to be a lawyer. I don't know if they are lawyers.
Okay, where are they at? You went to college like 4 years ago.
One of them was probably in Indiana now. She was an accounting and a pre-law major, so she's going for both of the big jobs. So,
what is our budget?
You don't want to know.
Are we under the budget? Is this America?
We're running a surplus. We're not a Democrat spending.
Is this 1940s America or is this like 1930s America?
We're not Herbert Hoover. We don't give out credit to random farmers. We
Herbert Hoover.
That's a whole nother episode. We are doing a whole episode on the Great Depression, and we are going to bathe in the sadness. Yep.
We need to be less depressing, I think. We talk about a lot of depressing things.
We're accepting reality. Reality isn't exactly very joyous.
I know, but it can be. I don't know why we talk about such. Okay, we talked about weed. We talked about starvation in China, taking your kids away in China. Now we're talking about the schedule to discuss the Great Depression and how people lived off of 5 cents a day or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm. Right, just for inflation, that's like $25.
Hey, allegedly. All right, cool. Okay. People just need to watch. People just need to listen. You got to listen.
Yep.
Get on. Let me see if I can get this right. Okay. Get on Facebook and the Tweety and the Gram and Spotify and YouTube and is that it?
The Apple Podcast is the only one.
Apple Podcast, that's right. You gotta get that.
Yeah, iTunes.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
iTunes, that's right. And you look up us accepting reality, and you gotta listen. It's not that hard. When you go to work and you're driving to work, stop listening to sports radio where they're going to talk about the same thing every day. Stop listening to Fox News, okay, when they're going to talk about the same stories every single day, and stop listening to the radio. Listen to us. We got you. Yes, we will soothe you to be like, if you're going to work, I got to go to work and I got to sit in the cubicle or I got to use my stapler, whatever you're doing, you got to work on the job. We will get you in the right frame of mind. So just do it. I can't
nothing else more to say. Just subscribe, subscribe, share, spread the word. It's all good.
Tell you when you're at a light and look at the car next to you, tell him to roll down the window and tell him about it.
Yeah.
Yep. Just do it.
Just do it. That's all. That's a great way to end the episode. So with that, you heard all of our plugs. Jake, good job doing that. First time plugging the all the tags and stuff. Good job. What was that? Okay. Well, we should stop before something else goes south. So thank you everybody for listening. Have a good night.
420.